Hey guys. Somebody's back. I can't read what's going on quite yet, but I see somebody's back. I had little hiccups there. Phone got hot. I didn't have the AC going. But it's cranking now. Still no sign of the convoy yet. Oh. Oh, sweet. An hour or less. I'm hoping that's till we get. Looks like I caught up with him. I see the follow car just ahead. Right lane closed, lane on, Convoy. Well, we're all caught up with the convoy. 94 cut off, huh? Okay.
Back's at 448.
Not sure you know what you're talking about. Dump truck's not doing too that great. We don't need to talk about Eric. There's nothing to talk about with Eric. I'm sorry that I even brought it up. I even brought it up. I don't like doing that. I don't like talking about people that do need for it. It's how it is. Let's see here. Still on, guys? I think so. Not sure. We're convoying. Not sure where, but not too far. Maybe an hour, I guess. I think they liked us. There's a thumbs up. There's a wave. I like to think they got tired waving and thumbing up by here. I'm just about the very end.
Convoy at the back, you got some ground to make up.
Oh, I got my hat back on, guys. I lost it most of the day. I pushed it under the seat. It's all muddy.
The back of the convoy is out of the construction zone.
Now we got to make up a little ground. Construction slowed us down, split us up, but we're not too bad off, I don't think. There's Oreo. I don't recognize that guy. So I think I'm going to order a hitch for Mrs. Mechanic's Jeep here. And once I've got a receiver on the back, I can do all kinds of stuff.
We'll be right at the line.
But we're not going to tell her. We're going to make it a surprise.
So stay right, not left.
I figure I'll ship it to the house.
Go to the right. Go to the right.
We got to go back there.
Sure it is.
We'll have to see. I really need to do a little work, I think. But we'll get it figured out. I'm not done convoying. Let's hope everybody knows where they're going. This gal always stays at the back end. She's not pulling a camper anymore. We got it up on a trailer. There was some issue with too much sway. She's been running for 5,000 miles, but I guess it developed now. I'm not sure what's going on there. There's Rose, waving her flag away. Got the exit, thanks guys, appreciate it. All set. Rolling along here, still on 90 East. Pick up the pace a little bit. Hopefully we can get the highway ahead. I think these people kind of been slacking. I'm going to see if I can pick them up. I'll run ahead of them. They won't let me push on them, so we'll see if they'll follow me in. And it can be a little tough climbing some of these hills for folks. I understand that. I've got a 30 and 40-year-old truck, so there's the drummer gal. Noise, so let's see if they punch it and follow me. Yep, here comes Tiny Camper, who no longer has any camper, but she still has it, just not on her truck.
I'm going to put it off the way.
There's our egg thrower chasing Granny, if I'm not mistaken. Next up ahead of me.
I don't even remember. 48.
I got the back door chasing him. I'm trying to lead him up here. Tiny Camper picked up. She's making up a little ground. I'm running exactly at the speed limit.
Road stop at the split to tell them which way to go.
There's Grandma. She's a pistol, I tell you. I like that old gal. Hopefully, they'll give chase. There's a van. I think we're about caught up. I got some brake lights up ahead and flags. I think we're slinging into the convoy. Hopefully, we caught up to it.
Alright, I'm at 460. You're just a mile behind us.
Donnie's at 460. We're coming up on 460. So here we are. We got him. Looks good going down the hill and around the curve. I don't get to see it all too often. Can't quite see it all now, but it looks good. This mechanic's going to need a new set of brakes when this is all done. That is exactly right. They remind me of my grandma.
Alright, Convoy is together, but it's kind of spread up.
But yeah, I love them old gals. They put up with enough stuff in their day, and they're not putting up with any more. They see something they don't like, and they'll do not hesitate to speak up. That's just the way the rest of us ought to be, too. Speak up. Talk to people. Talk to your neighbors. You should be on a first name basis with everybody that lives within at least 2 or 3 houses of you if you're in a neighborhood, or, well, the same if you're out not. Stop by, stick your hand out, introduce yourself. No, Hugh, I think we're doing okay. Haven't had any issues today too much. Big red van's got a leaky tire. We're gonna have to deal with that when we get where we're going. It probably needs a replacement. I've got a plug and a half in it. I split one down the length, but I might try 2. We'll probably have to gently rock the van back onto it to force it in there. It's kind of snug. Somehow that hole got real big. But all in all, it's been a great day. I hope Mrs. Mechanic's having fun. She's out driving with her friend. Got her in the, I'm not sure what kind of little vehicle it is, but manual transmission, so that'll be fun for her in the convoy situation, I'm sure. I'd actually prefer it because I could ride a little higher in the wraps and back off the throttle to slow down instead of this constant slinky effect at the back end of the convoy. We got a new guy with a follow car now, and he's got a convoy ahead sign and flasher, so I like that quite a bit. And he knows he knows what he's doing, so we're good there. Donnie bounces around since this guy's got back door, and I stick with this guy in case he needs something, at least for the time being. Yeah, big red van, due for a tire. I don't want to keep putting plugs in it. That's more of a get back to the highway so you can get the tire replaced thing when you're doing 2, 3, 4 plugs. I have stitched tires shut with wire before and plugged the heck out of them. And you got 15 plugs sticking out of there, and just trying to limp back so you don't have to walk a mile and a half carrying a bunch of junk. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully she makes it. I got eyes on her now, and she seems to be rolling okay. I might sneak up there and see what, I know which tire it is. I could probably tell from the road. But she's got a tire pressure monitor system on that too. I think it's a 2016, so she's okay. I told her to just pull over if she gets down to like 45 pounds or so. I think she's about 75 now. So if she gets down too far, we'll go ahead and stop and replug it, air it up, so on and so forth. Let's see. I hope it's nice and relaxing. And to be honest, I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I got some stuff I got to do and some people I got to talk to initially when we get there. I know that, I think that is Mrs. Mechanic right in front of me, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. She's waving away, so I don't know where she came from or where she left from either, but glad to have her back. We'll give her a little bit of a wide berth. Everybody should be able to drive a stick shift. Just something that you need to know how to do. Just something you need to know how to do. And I know they're hard to come by these days, to be honest. I've ordered new trucks with stick shifts. It's usually one of the things I look for when I'm buying a used truck. I come across a screaming deal, I won't pass it up because it's an automatic, but they're just easier for me. I can take it out, put a clutch in, no problem. And to be honest, I like two-wheel drive trucks. There's a lot less front end stuff. And two-wheel drive manual transmission trucks are solid drivetrain, I tell you. The front ends last a lot longer. You don't go through nearly as many tires. You don't go through nearly as many issues with tires. But everybody thinks they need four-wheel drive all the time. They just don't. Most guys barely get off highway. And if you do, my trucks are usually loaded down pretty good with tools, etc. And so they're heavy enough that they'll bite. You don't go out and about when you shouldn't be out and about and off the road. And I always felt use two-wheel drive to get in and four-wheel drive to get back out. Oh, I remember trying to teach my daughter how to drive a stick, and she finally got it, but she was in a 97 K2500 Chevy pickup with a 5-speed, four-wheel drive. She was trying to turn left off a highway onto a little road, and there was somebody there watching her coming off a little road, and she's grab it and bucket and stall it, and grab it and bucket and stall it. And that one had a granny load too. She just couldn't figure out how to ease. But she eventually did. Everybody ought to have the gist of it and be able to get in a car and drive. My son does not know how to. So my son can drive a 9 or 10 speed, but he can't drive. I'm sure he can. Split top end, 13 speed, which is real easy. You push button forward, let off the throttle, and it'll shift. And apply throttle again, and away you go. You should be able to figure that one out. But a lot of guys are running 18 speeds in their trucks these days. There's almost no reason to ever split the bottom end unless you're just in some kind of weird heavy haul situation. You can power through them bottom 5. And the top 4 spread out a little bit farther, and you're running out of legs, so you gotta keep them tighter. And that's why they just split it into a 13 instead of the 18s. Yeah, no new pickup trucks are made with manual transmissions. Less than half of new medium and heavy duty trucks are made with manual transmissions. And realistically, you're trading one set of problems for another with an automatic versus a manual. But yeah, people like the convenience of the automatics and everything. There are there's downsides. I grew up driving a manual transmission. I can drive a whole lot of different transmissions. There's benefits to them. And I'm sure most of you have never driven the old Max 6-speed. Max 6-speed, as I recall, you had a 5-speed gear pattern, but there was no reverse. So I can't remember how you got into deep low, to be honest. There was a switch on the shifter, and it was forward and reverse. And you had a deep hole low that you could get into from there too. I think you went first, and then you pull back, let off the clutch, and you shift to your first. Go one, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the neat thing about that, in reverse, it didn't have a reverse position. It simply shifted a reverse drive gear in. So you had 5 reverse gears. And a lot of people say, oh, what do you do that for? Get on a construction site where you got to back up a half mile. And I'm telling you, man, it is no bull. that 5-speed reverse is something else. They don't make a lot of Bulldogs. They really were, and the Mac 5-speeds, the 237s, those babies would rock and roll. They would scoot, but out of like 55. But no, they've had so many different transmissions over the years. I kind of like the horseshoe patterns, which is you'll have first gear on top, second on the bottom, third on the bottom, fourth up top. Which is, they'll mesh with you a little bit. You'll usually catch those as high gear toward dash. Wait a minute, we're okay. That's Stan. I thought it was Brian. He had a door on the back of his tractor. Had to be Brian. But no, it's Stan Stasnak. So, Stasnak showed up last night sometime. I'm not sure when, but so it's good to have him back. He's a great guy. Heart of gold. An 18 double trick. But you don't need most of them. Just like the old 5.4s. I mean, you'd never run all the way up in your low-low. You'd almost never get into low-low. But the 5.4s and the 5.3s, those were neat old transmissions. Some of them you'd have to reach through the steering wheel to shift them both at the same time.
Something squishy in the road back there, y'all.
It was a mess. I wouldn't mind having sake. They're not a picnic to drive, but well, they're not a picnic to drive. I'll put it that way. They're not bad. I mean, it depends how bad you're loaded. A lot of them you can just go in straight, but you could pretty much always pick the right gear for something. It might take a second to figure out which one it was, and that's what's nice about the 18-speed. But usually you just power up through the bottom. I like an 8LL, which is you got a super low reduction and then a low reduction, but you get in that super low and you can bury the pedal and walk faster than that. I mean, but you don't have any of that pumping feeling when you're pulling out on like farm ground or off dirt. Sometimes when trucks get heavy, they'll have a little bit of oomph to get up out of the hole they make while they're sitting there getting loaded. And those super low gears help with that. I mean, it just walks right out. There's none of that squishy feeling where you think you might slip. Oh, we're not too far back. I can see I'm going to say a quarter mile from the main Convoy body, which is staying pretty tight. We got a group back here at the back end that they like to spread out a little bit, and they like to not pay a ton of attention all the time. Forget where they're going or who they're following, so we like to run behind them and kind of goose them along. Not physically, but you know, sometimes you'll just it's nice having that other follow car. We're tightening up here. They look to be backing off speed a little bit up ahead. Oh, I bet those deep lows would have helped through the Rockies. Some of them passes are tough. Yeah, I mean, if I was speccing out a new truck, I'm sure I'd put an 18-speed in it just to have it. And I know some of you dump truck drivers, if you know, you get down in them holes and you're just crawling out, and it seems like an hour to get out of them things. But you can't have too many gears. Like I said, the real nice thing about an 18-speed is you can be pretty much wherever you want at any time, regardless of the road. You know, sometimes you got to have full power, especially in mountains and logging roads and stuff. You do need full power at reduced speeds. And a half a gear can help a lot. But man, those things are heavy. I was never a fan of the 7-speed or the 6+1 Spicer. It's sloppy with that great big gate. There's just too much sideways room. And yeah, people ask me, oh, isn't it hard to work on the big trucks? No, it's way easier. The parts are way bigger. Yeah, you need some bigger wrenches and some weird specific ones for different manufacturers. But all in all, and it's pretty well caught up in today's market. Trucks and passenger cars were on like wildly different levels. And yeah, if you get a new 2023 Kenworth or Peterbilt or Freightliner International, whatever, they're smooth and quiet. You can carry on a conversation like we're doing now. If I drove my truck back from my place to DC, you would not hear a word I said the whole time. I promise you that. But no, I think the phasing out of the manual transmission is a terrible thing. Guys who know what they're doing can work them, and they make life easier. In the big trucks, you don't even use the clutch pedal. You got to use it to stop it when you're at a dead stop. Other than that, if I'm loaded real heavy out of the lower gears into neutral, but usually you get started and then let off the throttle and ease it into neutral. Wait till your engine speed matches up to your road speed for that gear and then slip right in. Some guys hold it there and grind them. I don't care to do that myself. When you know what you're doing, it just bump, slip right in and out, smooth as silk. Oh, they were so much easier to work on, Hugh. I mean, so much. And yeah, it's not. Look, we get more mileage out of the new ones, blah, blah, blah. But they were so much easier to work on. They were solid. I mean, and yeah, look, you guys that know Detroit diesel on the wall, and that picture will drip oil. But the old Detroits and the Cats, and even the Macs. I don't have a ton of experience on the Mac, but everything was just easier to work on. They made it so it worked, and that's all. And you know, who was I talking to? Oh, I think Blinky was telling me he gets anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5. So it's not like he's picked up any mileage with all this nonsense. Oh man, a 69 Super Beam. Yeah. Carbs can be tricky, and sometimes you got to eat some crow, and call a buddy or something like that and have him tune them, whatever it takes. But that's one thing I know we're all bad about is I can do it. I'll take care of it. I don't need no help. Plus, I like knowing how to do whatever needs done. So I don't hire a lot of people to do a lot of stuff. I won't lie. Just start taking it apart, see what's broke, put it back together. I mean, put new parts in it, repair the broken parts, whatever. But no, hard to come by a manual transmission. The new Cadillac has them. The new Cadillac with its last gasoline V8 engine. And so they put a manual in those as an option, of course. You can get the automatic. That's probably standard, in fact. But performance sports cars are about the only place you see them anymore, and super economy, fuel efficient cars. Like I said, you're probably about 35, 40 trucks. Well, I'm even just going to say heavy. The mediums are all almost automatic anymore. And the guys have nothing but problems with them. We had a Volvo on the way out here. RV hauler who's in this room sometime. He's got an automatic, which, that's fine. But, great guy, but it gave us fits. If that had been a manual transmission, he could have shifted it. He could have made the pass, no problem. No problem. But it is what it is. It was a rubbed wire someplace, and I looked but did not find it. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's a little tricky in the field. And I don't have any meters and stuff like that. Oh no, a new Detroit will leak. Hell, I'm pretty sure that had the oil drip tube, and it was just a tube on the outside that only purpose was to drip oil. Yeah, that's exactly right. You could slow it down, but if there's a Detroit engine that doesn't drip oil, I'd like to see it.
A007, I think we picked up 3 cars since rest area stop.
Picked up 3 cars, nice. Yeah, slobber is exactly the word for it, man.
The last 2 right there in front of you don't have flags on the outside, but the pickup's got the flags on the inside. 10-4. Newcomers, they just haven't gone out and done yet.
Now the old 2-stroke Detroits, and maybe some of the cats, I can't remember which ones, but they would run backwards. It wasn't something you desired. Usually it'd come from lugging a truck real hard, and rolling back, stalling it, but they would run backwards. And funny things would happen, and it wasn't a good situation. They could be modified as run as such, and sometimes would be on ships, is about the only place you'd find it. And I'm sure there's other applications, the only place I'm really aware of. But them old 2-strokers sounded good. You fire one of those up on a cold morning, and you'll know something's going to happen. Maybe tandem rears, and maybe drop it on like I don't know, some medium duty chassis. And fix it up real nice, but every time I think of it, I got a million reasons not to. They do make some pretty cool, classic looking, like rooftop air conditioners and stuff these days, but still. And that's why you're dropping it onto another chassis. You get into those old and beyond, and a lot of them don't even have front brakes. I mean, they're a chore to drive. They are a chore to drive. I'd have to say the early 90s were probably the golden age for the best performance of the trucks. We had good, reliable engines. We had good transmissions. We've gotten away from things like hydrovac brakes and stuff like that. Air-shifted dual-range transmissions, stuff like that. Reasonably fuel-efficient engines that were still mechanically operated. You pull a cable to shut them off. Or usually a little T-handle that went to a cable line. But yeah, mechanical fuel shut off. Or a button that hit a solenoid, something like that. But the key wouldn't do it. As the 90s wore on, they tried to eke this and that out of them, and this makes it better, that makes it better. Yeah, but I don't know that we picked up a whole lot of mileage. You're trying to move 80,000 pounds down the road, it's heavy any way you slice it. And you can put a bunch of gears in there and double overdrive. But you still... What I will say is I've heard guys about guys loafing trucks in recent years, where they're specking out a brand new medium duty with a way oversized motor, something on a, like a DD, and they will, have 10 or 13, but they're running like a 14-foot flatbed, and that's way more than you need for that. So they gear it with like a 252 or a 268 rear end ratio, and with that motor and that transmission, there's almost nothing they can do to really work that truck hard and still stay legal on a single axle. So I'm hearing reports of guys getting like 11 and 12 mile a gallon, which I have not taken time to confirm because I'm not really in a position to spec out a new truck. But that's interesting. That's interesting. But basically, you got enough motor and enough gears that you're not going to be able to work it hard and keep it at legal weight. So you're pretty much just running idle. I don't know. But it sounds interesting. Plus, if you got that much motor, they'll get up and boogie. I'm sure some of you guys know about your no-no gear. You can beat cars stoplight to stoplight with that baby. Get off at first. And away you go. Do that when you're bobtailing, not trying to. If you got weight on, don't do it. They call it the no-no gear for a reason. But sometimes it's fun to play. If you're stuck in the mud and you don't have any weight on or you're bobtailing, that's a good way to get out. Because you'll be spinning fast enough, you can throw the mud clear and walk on out sometimes. Otherwise, you can't run up through the gears. I think we're getting close. Convoy's tightening up a lot. I'm picking up a lot more CB chatter. No, it's not even 4 o'clock, which I think is outstanding. It'll be nice to get someplace before the sun goes down. Mechanic mama to a hotel this evening, I believe. Interestingly enough, I'm still stoked with antifreeze. Not much point in going to one last night. We didn't get in till 2:30. Got up a little after 6.
Anybody know what those white piles of stuff are?
The white piles of stuff.
Probably lime.
That's my guess. Agricultural lime.
I know at once upon a time I knew, so we'll figure it out when we get to the fairgrounds.
That's agricultural lime to you gotta lime it every couple of years. Just dust it. It needs worked in, but that's okay. A lot of it just boils down to trips across the field.
Yeah, we got a pretty good string there.
I'm not sure who's behind Mudpig. He's talking them up. These guys got some good looking trucks. Must be Blinky. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can bring my truck out. Let me put it this way. I'm going to have to spend so much time welding on the floor of the cab so the stuff doesn't fall through. I'm afraid it'll delay me too long getting back to DC. I've been threatening to buy a new one, not new. I'm looking for a used medium-duty service truck. Older the better, to be honest. And a chassis cab would be fine too, or flatbed. I can work some stuff, but I had the opportunity to buy the first semi-tractor I ever drove here about 2 years ago. I just got laid off from COVID though and was a little antsy about stuff. It was good money on it. I mean, it was a 91 International 8200 at the 8LL and the L300 Cummins, or L10 Cummins, not a 300. It was an L10, I think. I can't remember. It wasn't, I mean, it was no race car. Single axle with an air tag and a mobile home toter hitch on the back, which is a ball hitch that goes up about 6 feet in the air hydraulically. It's convenient for pulling bumper pull trailers. But it was a crazy truck. But I saw it come up for sale a couple years ago, and it's barely been used, I'm sure. But a local outfit had it, and I should have bought it, but didn't I? I need another. $78 degrees. One of her friends here in the convoy was not. So she's driving her car, so that'll be a nice treat for her. It's a manual transmission. I don't think she's been behind any of the wheel of a few in a year, or probably 5 or 6 years since she's been. YouTube shows me who's watching. Like everybody is 50 and above, so not everybody, but 70% of it. Channel, and I mean, we might need to do some neat stuff. It's loud and exciting, but you know, we're not cheap thrills type thing. I mean, we like it. I'll do some cool stuff, make some cool videos. I don't know, somehow we end up at all these events and stuff like this for, I don't know, trying to be on the right side of stuff, I guess. There's right and wrong, and I'm not trying to make anybody live by my rules or anything like that, but my job is to protect and provide for women and children and stand up in injustice. It is what it is, guys. You know, we have all this talk these days about, you know, women can do this and men should do this and everything. Look, we're better suited for different roles. We're better suited for different roles. And it's not anything, you know, crazy. I will say that, you know, stuff that children, if you want to dispute that, feel free to drop me an email and we can talk about it in two-parent homes. And the way you get away from two-parent homes as out-of-wedlock pregnancies, which, you know, permissive sexual attitudes are highly encouraged these days. It was such a slippery slope, and look how far it's gone, you know. We were confusing 8-year-old children about what gender they are. Hope we're not buffering too bad, guys. Oh, as we get closer, the convoy kind of tightens up. And the back end really gets that slinky accordion effect where it wow, 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 going back and forth and back and forth. Everybody's breaking up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up. Pardon, next two exits, here we are. Here we are. I believe I heard it. That'll be nice. I've heard there's restrooms and showers, which will, I'm sure, be very well received. I have not had a chance to find a hotel yet, but I bet Mrs. Mechanic can get on that here in a few minutes. You know, there are transgendered people that have to be a terrible, terrible thing to bear. But it's not 5 or 6% of the population, guys. It's not 2 to 3, it's not 1. It's 1% at best. It's not a common situation. The idea that we can simply whatever we want to be, and you know, to be honest, I think this goes back to hear me out. Children need to not be told great simply because they exist. Absolutely should take pride in their accomplishments. They should work hard. You know, they should do the things we need. A generation telling kids that you are, therefore you're great, and you can do anything you want to. Which, you know, you can take steps to do anything you want to. Realistically, that's not the truth. That is not the truth. You know, I'm not going to be a professional baseball player. Never in the cards. Never was. Never was. Some people are gifted. You know, I'm not Nolan Ryan. End of story. And no matter how hard I worked, I would never be as good as him. We have to act and think within just like simply driving to Hollywood, the chances of you being picked up for a television show or movie, nearly non-existent. A lot of other horrible things can happen, but okay, that guy's just paying a water bill. How many kids do I have? I've got 3 kids. Youngest daughter's 21, oldest daughter's, I want to say 25. Son's 23. 26 maybe on the oldest daughter. Under 30. I could figure it out. But, you know, let me see here. Yeah, she'll be 26 this year, I think. Anyway. Oh, is there a reservation around here, guys? I've been looking for reservation cigarettes. I bought 2 cartons for like $42 a piece in Ohio before I left town, and they're gone, of course. I wasn't planning on being gone this long. But yeah, they're like $8 or $9 a pack here, which I think is outrageous. There's got to be somebody local here who knows where there's a reservation. That's a good idea. New York, they're like $13 a carton. And I won't really call them a carton, I guess. They're usually loose cigarettes in a big bag. You guys have never got them. But they're cheap. Okay, we are off the highway. And I see us making a right up ahead, I believe. Yeah, that's us. We're getting close now, guys. I'm excited. The townsfolk, there's a few of them out and about. But, hey, look at that. There's a mobile taqueria. That's what I'm talking about. Not sure what's going on here, or why we're all making U-turns. But something seems very funny.
We need to put this big old Conoco sign behind this propane tank on the empty trailer, come on. Yeah, that's what I thought too, I saw that. I like this old tow truck too, there's a 70-mile garage over here with a truck sitting there. And if you look in the front, there's some more over here. Pretty cool cars right here. It's got a 34 Ford, looks like, on the trailer too. We just go ahead and look at that. Would fit beautifully on the school bus roof too. I looked at that truck over there loaded on trailer. We're going to have to talk to them folks, see what they got.
That's pretty good, Mander. Where you at? Here in Montana? I think we're getting close. Running through a residential neighborhood. I see a big green patch up just ahead. Hopefully that's us. Look at that. There's Blinky. There's Mud Pig, guys. Let me see. I can't get you a very good shot. You can catch them coming in on the right side. Who we got? There's Area 51. There is Bryant towing the tiny camper on the tiny trailer. And Sasnak, I think, bringing up the rear. That's a pretty truck, isn't it? Oh, Ontario. I should get up to Canada again sometime. I haven't been in a long time. Used to like to go up the Upper Peninsula. My dad had a small island up there. And man, the fishing was just incredible. Wow, 30 years ago nearly. But anyway, need to get back up to Canada. Wouldn't mind seeing Niagara Falls again. Oh, let's see here. There's Rat Rod's old man, the school bus, and the campers are. Goodbye. Oh, we need a passport now. Good Lord. I mean, for many years, Canada was driver's license friendly, and everything was. And everything, to be honest, is still fine. Canada is just our little brother to the north. And there is Rosie Rose. So these folks followed their GPS. I see what happened. The convoy took a route that was acceptable for tractor trailers. And a girl, Rosie, go, 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 lady. Good Lord. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 behind me. There's Egg chasing Granny. There's Tiny Camper. Some gal's coming out to see what's going on. She doesn't seem too interested. Bighorn County. I like the sound of that. There's a guy with a big beard and no shirt on his front porch wondering what the hell's going on. These look like good old boys.
Hey, I know that green truck sitting there with that flatbed hook to it. That's Tom, is it not? That's right, that's right.
I have located my hat. It was missing for a while earlier today, but now has been located.
When you get back in the back, guys, be easy on the horn. They live back here, and the wife isn't doing so well.
There we got some people out and about waving hello, so on and so forth.
Don't you get us kicked out of here, D.
All right, we are here. We're getting off the road. We are into the county fairgrounds. Green, green. Love it. There's Alex. There's. Oh. We got drones in the air.
People's Convoy, PatriotMechanic.
What's happening, guys?
Yes, guys.
Oh, this is a new tractor. It looks kind of familiar, though. He looks kind of familiar, but I can't place his name. GWT, Get Right Trucking, yes. I don't know if our follow car has made it yet. He should be here or very, very close. This is pretty nice. We got all kinds of people here that I'd not recognize them.
On the railroad track.
I'm not sure what's going on exactly.
Come to a stop on a railroad track.
On that one. Nobody would expect you to, Miss Crystal. Half a mile up there, like, wait a minute, let me back up a minute. The crazy spot when I was... Oh my gosh, I didn't see you this morning.
Guys, if you're ever in a convoy, have the good sense not to stop on the railroad tracks, even if that's where it's at. Just, it's good policy not to stop on the railroad tracks.
Yeah, boy, welcome back.
So, maybe
We'll take you back across
15, 18 years ago,
I think we can have you in Minnesota by noon tomorrow.
there was a local farmer that had a detachable trailer, which they're slung real low to the ground. And basically, you just unhook the truck end part, and it stays attached to your truck. You separate it from the trailer, and then drop. I see you, girl. Hey, here's little Big Rig.
Thank you guys so much.
Back in town, missed you, honey.
Back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But,
See her.
oh, she's here. That's little Big Rig.
Little Big Rig's back, baby.
We ran with her. She stuck with us when we dropped off, or when we, I guess we dropped off RV Hauler when he went down, coming out of Banning, and she went and hung out on Mount Shasta for a while, I believe, where she had some, she did a retreat up there is the word I'm looking for. But she's back with us now. She's a Montana gal. She is and roll. That girl's a pistol. So glad to have her. There's a bunch of people here that I recognize but haven't been around.
37?
Yes, ma'am.
Little Big Rig's back, guys. Welcome to Montana.
Yeah, I didn't even know she's coming back. And Mr. Tom back there also. Yeah, I knew he was coming back, but I didn't know she was coming back.
Good to see her. The truck's all washed up. We had a lot of trouble with her truck. For the record, guys, if you're putting them on your garden hose and stuff,
And he wants you to park beside his Santa.
if it takes 4 or 5 hours to get to a hose clamp, just buy a $3 one. For the record, I'm sure many of you already know that. And the ones that don't probably don't work 4 or 5 hours to get to a hose clamp. I'm not sure. Oh, we're going all the way back. I see everybody stopped off up here. It's a long line in there. I'm sure Jessica will be excited to see her friend. Yeah, but we dropped off Norm one day and then tried to catch up, and we struggled mightily too. We ended up pulling in just as they were to the next stop. But Little Big Rig and Mrs. Mechanic and I split a hotel, and good Lord, the problems. I suppose the biggest thing was, I don't know, about 7 o'clock in the morning, we noticed a bunch of fire trucks rolling into the hotel because it was, you guessed it, on fire. That was the first time for that. But that was, I guess that was Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, we stayed in a hotel, and first thing in the morning, she's on fire.
Santa, where you parking? I'm supposed to park next to you. How about it, monkey? I'm here. On in the back of that camper and on that curb over there. That woman's ill in that house and they don't want no noise around her there on the left when you come in the gate. You want us to park right there in that far corner.
I tell you, I'm ready to get to a Trump rally. And the convoy's not about Trump. These guys
are all going to park side by side here.
Let's just say I got serious reservations about the integrity of the election.
I was to make a swing around and park in the corner.
And normally, stuff like that, I would just... Numbers don't lie.
Monkey, anybody got a car? Tell Monkey to come over here and swing around in front of me on my left. Make a U-turn to the right and back up against that curb over there. Be a good spot for him. 10-4, he's out talking to Marcus. I'm coming in right behind you.
Yeah, I've talked to a number of people specifically about
where do you want me to park
keep an eye out for reporters and mind what you say. There's some boisterous individuals here. Yeah, I'm anxious to see how many trucks we got in here. I've been running the back door all day and really don't know what's going on, but I got a feeling it's good. Okay, there is the school bus headed in. X-Ray has headed for Colorado. X-Ray and Paul Revere both had to take off today. So we hope that we will see them again. X-Ray is planning on going back to Washington. He has been gathering troops, as it were. And he's got a list of, I think, 1.5 or 2 dozen folks that are ready to go. So he's got some work he sold before there was any talk of convoys or anything else for this time of year, and that's how it works. When you sell work, that's how it is. I started hearing about this convoy, and I have not sold much work because of it. And then I've been gone, and my phone's been ringing, but not selling work, because if I sell it, I'll have to go do it. Man's word is his bond. Too many people forget that. If you say you're going to do something, it needs to be done. Just not for any, just because that's how you do things. Yeah.
Inside is the camper. Yeah, facing the same way as the camper.
A lot.
Back it up right beside the camper.
That's one way to get on my bad side. You tell me you're going to do something, it doesn't happen. People have to have moral integrity. I mean, you have to. You have to. So many times these days, people just, oh, I'll take care of that, I'll do that, whatever, and then they're just gone. And said some individual people, not everybody, but it's more and more common, it seems like. But no, the guys that, who do what they said they were going to do. And not necessarily, I'll be here at 3 o'clock or whatever, but, yes, I can take